Does small group testing have any impact on student achievement on tests? Studies have shown that special education services have no efficacy of student achievement. There's definitely a correlation or a connection between special education services and student achievement. In fact, in research from Cavand, special education students performed more poorly and with less motivation than their peers in reading, writing, and math. The purpose of this study is to determine whether there is a correlation between small group testing and student academic achievement. Many students with disabilities will require testing accommodations in order to participate in testing programs and on an equal basis with their non-disabled peers or classmates. Some of these accommodations provide students with the ability to demonstrate skills and attainment of knowledge without being limited or unfairly restricted due to their disability. However, many special education students attend general education classes and are pulled out in a smaller class setting for specific subjects. The purpose of this study would be to investigate the effectiveness of these smaller special education classroom settings. Does small group testing have any impact on student achievement on tests? I hypothesize if a special education student who is normally pulled out to test in a smaller group is allowed to test in a general education setting, then he or she will perform higher. A special education classroom is where a specialist works closely with students outside the general education classroom. Typically, during assessments or tests, special education students receive pull-out services, where they're pulled out of the general education classroom and take the test with a special education teacher or specialist. The independent variable in this study is the classroom size, whether it be the general education classroom, a larger class size, or a special education classroom, a smaller class size. The dependent variable for this study is the English language arts and mathematics achievement, as it will be measured by the county common assessments. The experimental group will be allowed to remain in the general education classroom and take the common assessment, and the control group will receive the same instruction. However, they will be taking the common assessment in a smaller class setting, which is the special education classroom. Literature review. Some of my findings were special education services aim to meet the needs of students with disabilities. However, there's been several questions of the effectiveness of these services. I've also found the importance of considering a child's motivation and factors of regression like poverty, gender, intelligence, self-efficacy, and or school district. Failure to account for some of these factors can ultimately inflate or potentially deflate the effects of special education. Finally, I found that students receiving special education services tend to increase over the years. Special education students tend to perform more poorly and with less motivation than their peers in reading, writing, and math. And this has been found in grades 1 through 5. This study is correlational as it observes the relationship between special education student achievement and small group testing. Data will be collected from 6 common assessments, 3 English language arts common assessments, and 3 math common assessments. Is there a correlation between small group testing and student academic achievement? Well, this will be tested through the use of county common assessments, 3 English language arts assessments, and 3 math common assessments. Data collection procedures. Step 1, identify all 4th grade special education students at a given school. Step 2, allow access to the Google Excel spreadsheet to record data after each common assessment to every 4th grade teacher, general ed, and special education. Step 3, assign each student a number, then randomly select 2 students from each of the 5 4th grade classes. Step 4, every student will receive a normal instruction from their general education teacher. Step 5, at the end of each unit from each class, 1 student will take the test with the general education class, and the other student will take the test in a special education setting. Step 6, at the end of each unit, students will take the common assessment. Step 7, each teacher will record the common assessment data in an Excel spreadsheet after each assessment. Internal validity. There is proof of validity in this study through the instruments used, which is the county common assessment, The results of this study can be generalized to the fourth grade special education students. This is because of the use of cluster sampling of fourth grade special education students at the given school. Data analysis. This study is quantitative. The data will be collected in a fourth grade classroom. The data will be documented in an Excel spreadsheet. The study will include Tier 3 special education students, which are students who receive collaborative instruction from a general education teacher and are pulled out for more intense interventions afterwards.